I hope that those of you who were poorly last week have regained your strength, and that those of you who can't be with us this week because you're poorly are getting better. There's a lot of it about, isn't there? I've just noticed a really weird mark on my screen. That's really distracting. Sorry, you don't need to know about that. Something on my lens, there's something on the camera lens, which makes it look like there's a mark there. Anyway, it's been a long day. You can tell that my mindfulness is hot already, can't you? I'm going to do a little bit of speaking before, as I do it. If you want to go and find some stuff, feel free to do so. The things we will need probably tonight. I know I do this quite often. I say to you, get these props, and then we don't quite get around to that bit of the class. However, there's a high chance that tonight in this lesson we will need one of these things. A rolled up blanket, something that can be as wide really as your yoga mat, ideally. It doesn't have to be super big, but it needs to be fairly dense. And you'll see why once we use it. So either a rolled up blanket or even a big rolled up towel would be fine, to be honest. We may well get to using a strap. You don't have a yoga strap, just a normal belt would be fine, or even a long towel, to be honest. We're just going to use it as kind of like an arm extender. And as ever, if you've got blocks, like these bad boys, a couple of yoga blocks, if you've got them, great. Again, if you haven't got any of this stuff handy, don't worry about it. You can totally manage without it. So if you need to go and find that stuff, pause me, obviously, if you're watching later, or go do it whilst I have a quick chat to tell you what we're going to do in this class and next class, and what we're going to build on from last few classes. So we have been, the focus of obviously our me yoga club. It's not me, it's you. And I hope that you are participating, that you have signed up for this as an act of compassion for yourself, rather than some kind of act of punishment or retribution, or I don't know, making yourself suffer. So my hope is that you are doing this stuff out of compassion for yourself, hopefully because you know that the stuff we learn here on the mat gives you useful tools to take off the mat, that ultimately our yoga practices are helping us to be the best version of ourselves, not only for the good of ourselves, but for the joy of the people around us. And that doesn't mean, of course, that we just become kind of like chilled out, anything goes doormats. We don't just become kind of like pot plants sitting in the corner who have no feelings and everything is fine. When we talk about compassion and non-violence in yoga, it means that we come from a state of recognizing that everything is connected, and therefore there is that kind of do unto others as you would have done unto you and all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't mean that we don't feel the other emotions at the same time. It doesn't feel like if we're going to be working on, for example, compassion and heart opening and softening, it doesn't mean that we then become these ridiculously benevolent creatures where everything, we're bending over backwards to accommodate everything. Absolutely not. But what it does mean is that we allow some softness, we allow some vulnerability without sacrificing strength and focus and determination. But one doesn't have to be at the detriment of the other. Remember, yoga is all about balance. It is all about equanimity. So you need to have the one side and the other side of that coin. So whilst we're talking about cultivating compassion and kindness through our practices, like I say, don't think that you then become this vacant pot plant. And there's a really interesting, was quite a good yoga parable. Who doesn't love a parable? And I'm probably not going to do it justice, and I probably don't remember a lot of the subtleties. Anyway, there's a snake. There's a snake living in a village, as snakes did. And a holy man, holy person, goes through the village, and they see that this snake is terrorizing the village. This snake is biting people, it's scaring children, it's leaping out on grannies, all that kind of stuff. Really nasty piece of work, this snake. And the holy person says to the snake, chill your boots, mate. Act with a little more compassion, kindness, etc. Holy person goes off on their ramblings. When they come back into the village and see the same snake again, the snake is covered in bruises and wounds, and you can see the snake has been really beaten up by the people that live in the village. And the holy person says to the snake, well, what's wrong? What happened to you? And the snake says, well, you told me that, I had to be more compassionate and kind, and and you told me about ahimsa, which is non-violence. And the holy person says, yes, I told you all that, but I didn't say you couldn't hiss. So, it's like in measured amounts, you're not expected to go through life feeling nothing but compassion and kindness for everyone. There are appropriate times to be angry and enraged, but with our practices, we begin to tap into the space between the reaction where we can respond, so that whilst we are rooted in compassion, we don't fly into rage. We can choose when to be angry. We can choose and how to use that anger. So we're going to focus on a bit of cultivating compassion and kindness, and to sort of create that in our asana practice, we're going to look at working on the heart energy area. So this kind of sternum space, opening up through the upper body, which will of course include shoulders, arms, which will include the full front lines of the body and all that kind of thing. And there's something about anatomically opening up this space or softening this space, which is perfect for counteracting our general tendency to be kind of, fetal position, driving. I mean, if you're driving like this, it might be issues. Driving, sitting at desks, sitting on phones, all of that kind of stuff. Opening this stuff up is a brilliant balance to all of that stuff. It also can be challenging because not only are we physically quite often more in this sort of pattern, in a C sort of pattern, than I don't know what that is, a big Y sort of pattern. But anatomically it literally makes us vulnerable. It opens up all of our organs, all of our squishy bits, which, when you are threatened, you naturally hit the fetal position. Opening up this stuff can be challenging because it's our body. If our body is in a permanent state of chronic anxiety, even if that's a lower level that we don't always recognize, if we are permanently anxious or wired or fearful for whatever reason, fearful of losing jobs, fearful of parents dying, fearful of change, any kind of fear, the body doesn't know that kind of fear is different to about to be eaten by a saber-toothed tiger kind of fear. So I do think that in times of stress, we are naturally inclined to draw in. So if you find softening this space tricky, great. If you find it easy, great. But ironically, opening the stuff, we really need to be compassionate and kind. And like I say, it's very much about softening. I don't want, none of this stuff can be forced. We know this. You can't force this stuff. But particularly when we're doing heart opening stuff, it's very easy to go to the weakest link in the chain. And I'll try and remember to talk through that more once we start to move, so you can kind of see what I mean. So we're gonna have a nice, hopefully a nice, bit of compassion focused practice. And we're going to start as we normally do with lying down, with emptying out before we begin. So we're going to do some lying down stuff, then some seated stuff, and then we'll get into the normal flowy stuff, I guess, in 10 minutes or so. So the flowy stuff will come, we'll just do some lying and sitting stuff. So as ever, you have options with your lying down stuff, but this is where the props come in if you've got them. And again, if you haven't got them, doesn't matter, just lie however you want to lie. So if you've got your rolled up blanket, what you might like to do is lie on it, and you're going to position it just at the bottom of your shoulder blades. So you might want to have a poke around and just feel where your shoulder blades kind of finish when your shoulder's in a normal position. Probably if you're wearing a sort of sports bra, it's a little bit above that kind of level. You might have to play around with it a bit. Basically, I just want you to put that little bolster just underneath that space at the bottom of your shoulder blades, and just let yourself lie back over it. You can straighten your legs out if you want. If that feels a little bit too much for the upper chest, you can grab your block or a cushion and just prop the head up so that you're not putting all the effort in opening that space. So try with a rolled up blanket, rolled up towel, or if you've got a proper yoga bolster. I keep meaning to buy one. Experiment with that, but if it's too intense on the front of the chest, prop with the head. Now remember, we're trying to open what's called kind of like the thoracic hinge area. This isn't just about opening across the front of the shoulders. Front of my shoulders are really tight, so it's really easy for me when I'm trying to do heart opening stuff that I overstretch the front of my shoulders because I don't kind of get into that bit, if you see what I mean. So just be mindful as you set yourself up that you're really getting into this thoracic hinge, not just flinging the arms back so that it's only front of shoulders. So you can lie back with a gentle heart opener on your blanket, or if you've got two blocks, you could do something similar. Can be a little more precarious to set up, but when you get it right, it can be really comfortable. And it's the same kind of principle, really. So you have one block on one level, another block on the higher level, and the lower block, or the block closest to you, is going to go in that same place that the bolster did. So just at the end, at the base of the shoulder blades. And then again, you could lie back here if you're super open through the heart. That's a bit much for me. So then I'm going to put my other block again to prop my head up. So the block under the back of the rib cage is on its longest side. Block under my head is up on its shortest side. And then you can just let your arms kind of flop down wherever they want. And like I say, I just want you to feel that you're just beginning to lengthen and open across that space. So set up in either one of those. Again, if you need to pause this whilst you're doing it, obviously feel free. If both of those just feel far too intense for this early in the practice, just lie however you want to lie. But I like to give you options of things that you can try. And you can also incorporate either of those into Shavasana, things at the end of practice, entirely up to you. Whatever lying shape you are in, once you feel like you're settled, allow your eyes to gently fall closed. And of course, if at any point the pose that you are in becomes uncomfortable, then mindfully and slowly just take out whatever prop you're on and just let yourself lie comfortably. This isn't a kind of a survival of the fittest in heart opening. This is about softening. So use it for as long as it feels useful and comfortable. And then if it becomes too intense, let it go. With your eyes gently closed, take a big breath in through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. Good. Do at least 2 more breaths, just like that. And then just let your breath settle into its own natural rhythm. If it wants to be deep, let it be deep. If it wants to be shallow, let it be shallow. And begin to find that feeling of arriving into your practice, of arriving into this chunk of time that is for you. Allowing yourself this time, allowing yourself to be here, allowing yourself to deserve some kindness, some compassion, and some love. So begin to get a sense of arriving into this space. Remembering that your challenge, or one of your challenges, is to feel like you are pushing the pause button on it all. Inevitably, your mind will wander to all of that other stuff. It will go to things that have happened in the past. It will skip off to things that might happen in the future. That is totally fine. It is part of your practice to keep bringing the mind back. But for now, you're going to try and keep that pause button fully pressed. So begin to tune in. Begin to notice how you feel as a whole. Begin to notice what kind of mood you're in, what your energy levels are like. And remember, there is no right or wrong to any of this. Just notice whatever is real for you here and now. And see if you can cultivate a feeling of accepting it without liking it, disliking it, analysing it, any of that. Just see if you can notice, tune in, and allow it to be however it is. Begin to notice what's going on in the space between your ears. So take a moment to tune in to your thoughts. Position yourself as that interested observer rather than the active participant, and see if you can notice the thoughts come and notice the thoughts go. And when we are thinking, when we are focusing on compassion, and kindness. I think most of us are particularly uncompassionate to ourselves when it comes to our thoughts. They are the ones that probably entice us to engage with them the most. So if you can particularly notice any of those thoughts that crop up during your practice, and just keep positioning yourself as the interested observer of them, you may just notice how they lose a little bit of their power or their potency. As you've noticed mind, take a short time to notice your body. So starting with awareness up at the top of your head, scan down. Just noticing the physical sensations that are there for you this evening or whenever you're practicing. But just as you did with your thoughts, not trying to stop or change or control whatever you find, just simply tuning in. And then as you've noticed mind, as you've noticed body, begin to notice your breath. Take the awareness to wherever you can most easily feel the rise of the inhale and the fall of the exhale. And see if you can find those moments of stillness within the flow of the breath. So even in the midst of that natural rise, the natural fall, there is just that pocket where there's stillness. You don't have to do anything to cultivate that or force it or control it. Just see if you can notice it. There at the peak of the inhale, and it's there at the end of the exhale. Keeping that connection to your breath. Place one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart space. And consider your intention for your practice. Consider how you want to feel as you move through the poses. How you want to feel when you step off the mat and go back into your day. What you need the practice to do for you here, now, in here. And then with your intention set, very slowly make any moves you need to, first of all, gently get off your props. So maybe roll to one side, move the props. Stay on your back for a moment, maybe hug the knees in, maybe lift your chest up to your knees and make yourself into a tight little ball. Have a roll around there for a moment or two. And then as and when you're ready, roll yourself up to a seated position. Once you're sitting up, make your way onto your hands and knees. So although we are thinking about opening heart area, of course, we don't work with anything in isolation in our asana practice, and any practice that would be focusing just on opening your sternum wouldn't really be a particularly balanced yoga class. So we're going to be thinking about opening chest, but as I said earlier, that also encompasses shoulders, arms, upper back. Can't do upper back without middle back, lower back. can't open front without strengthening back. So it's going to be a nice kind of all-round practice, hopefully. So let's start with some good old cat and cows. You know the score. With your inhale, let the spine dip down, draw the chest forwards, send the sitting bones up, take the gaze up just as much as is comfortable. And then exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone and arch all the way through your back. Inhale, roll the other way into your cow. And exhale, arch up into your cat. Keep going with your own breath. Add some side to side movement in there as well. So we're just beginning to wake up side body, front body, back of body, and feeling like you're moving the whole spine from the space between your ears through to the tip of your tailbone. There's some equanimity as to how you are moving there. Like I say, add a little shimmy from side to side if that feels good. Get into any bit of you that feels like it might need a little bit of a pop. If you can, always satisfying. My hips quite often go if I add in the side to side movement in this. So as I say, strangely pleasing. I don't get out much. So cat and cow. And then we did a little bit of this in the last couple of weeks. Take yourself down into your puppy dog pose. I want you to stay here for a couple of breaths. So having a block handy might be nice. You're going to try and keep your hips above your knees. Take your hands a giant step in front. And then let the chest soften down towards the floor. If you're trying to soften your armpits down towards the floor. Now it might be nice to rest your chin on the block or your forehead on the block if your upper body isn't quite ready to sink all the way down, or just kind of stay up if that's easier for you. But just start to get into the shoulders and the upper chest. And remember, like I say, it's very easy to go to the weakest point in the chain. So try not to just kind of like hang out in the shoulder sockets. Try and feel like it really is your sternum softening down. You're not just hyperextending through the shoulders. One way or another, bring your hands back and come back up to all fours. Turn your left palm up to the sky and slide the back of your left hand under your right arm and bring your left ear down to the mat. Prop yourself up on your right fingertips and actively reach that left hand away from you. And you'll feel that if you roll back a little bit more onto the left shoulder blade, you're just trying to encourage a bit of a stretch through the upper back, around the back of the left shoulder blade. And as you push down with your right hand and roll the chest away from the floor, you might just get a little more stretch there. Just a couple of breaths. And then push down through the right hand to bring yourself back up. Same thing other side, just as we get into the back of the upper back, or the back of the chest. Turn the right palm up to the sky. Slide it away under your left arm. And gently bring your right ear down to the floor. Take a moment or two to settle in. Rest up on the fingertips of the left hand. And as you push down through the left hand and roll the chest away from the floor, you may feel just a little bit of a stretch through the back of the right shoulder blade. Make sure the jaw is soft. Breath is even and balanced as much as you can. Then push down with the left hand, bring yourself back up to all fours. Tuck your toes, don't know what your toes are. Tuck your toes under and push back to your first downward facing dog. you're not quite ready for a down dog yet, of course, remember you can stay in your child's pose and give that dog a nice slow walk on the spot. Bend your right knee. Turn and ground your right heel. So let the heel turn in towards the middle of your mat. Then push back through both hands and really lift that right hip up towards the sky. Good, straighten the feet. Then do the same with the left, turn the left foot in. Push up and back through the left hip. Gaze a little more under the left armpit. Then square both feet. Take an inhale. Exhale, come forwards to a high plank. Inhale, push back, down dog. Exhale, forwards, high plank. Inhale, push back, down dog. Couple more like that. Just coming forwards and back. Just beginning to warm the shoulders up. Warming the front body up. Warming the back body up. Feeling the joy. Then bring your knees down next time you're in plank. Come all the way down onto your belly. And let's take a Sphinx pose. So the gentlest of the back bends to begin with. But you can still make sure that this pose is doing something. So build it slowly. Top of the feet gently push down into the mat. Now engage your bum cheeks. And it's not a clenching, it's a little engagement. There's no kind of better way to explain it. It's almost like you're not clenching the whole cheek, but you're just engaging the muscles that kind of go at the top of your hamstrings and into your, almost like where your bum creases are, depending where your bum cheeks are. Engage those bits. It's like you're trying to make your bum smile through those little curves in your buttocks. So I want smiling bum cheeks. Tuck your tailbone under a little. So let the pubic bone push into the floor. Then pull your elbows back. They're not going to go anywhere because they're stuck on the sticky mat. And let the chest come forwards. And engage all of that in one go. And smile, not only with your buttocks, but also with your face. And then exhale, come down, push back onto your knees. I don't know why smiling buttocks makes me laugh. I need to have a word with myself. Come back to a downward facing dog. Take your right foot forwards, bring your left knee down. And then again, if you've got blocks handy, because we're only just warming up, having your hands up on blocks can actually be really handy here because it kind of buys you a bit more space. And then simply just go backwards and forwards a little bit. So we are just beginning to wake the legs up. Come forwards and down into the lunge just as much as you comfortably can to wake up the hip flexors on the front of the left hip. Just keeping that breath even. So just beginning to wake it all up. Let the back foot be gently pushing down into the mat. And as you bring the chest forwards, as you warm up a little bit, again, you can find that kind of Sphinx feeling in the chest of lifting the chest up a little bit. And as you do that, actually pause here for a moment. So coming to the lunge, right foot is forward, left knee is down. If you let the hips drop down and just kind of have a bit of a slouch, look down, you'll feel probably a stretch across the front of the hip flexor. But if you now wake that up a little by getting that same feeling you had when the elbows were on the floor, you can almost imagine that they were on the floor still, and pull your sternum forwards and up a little bit, you should feel how just moving the chest wakes up that front line on the left-hand side. You can't keep your hands on the floor or on the blocks anymore, it doesn't matter. But you could even like pretend you're pulling your elbows back and lift up. Good. And then step back into a downward facing dog again. We'll just do that on the other side. So left foot forward, right knee down. And again, with hands on the floor or on your blocks to begin with, gently backwards and forwards, especially if you've been sitting at a desk all day. If your hip flexors have been in that kind of closed position, they may require a little more coaxing to be amenable. Keep that back foot in contact with the floor. Remember, anything that's in contact with the floor needs to be making contact with it. So a little bit of backwards and forwards here. Then next time you're in the lunge, and again, just so you can feel the difference of how using the upper body with the stuff at the back brings the whole kind of back bending pose to life. So back foot, so do just kind of a little slump first of all. So just look down, make it all about the hips, let the hips be heavy, not a lot else going on. Which is fine, there's a bit of stuff going on in my right hip flexor. Yeah, it's all right, it's getting a bit of a stretch, but now if I engage my back foot and push that down into the mat, if I push my front foot down as well, so there's some pushing down going on, if I find a little tuck in my tailbone, super subtle, and if I come up anyway, pull my elbows back as if I was in that Sphinx pose, and then lift my sternum forwards and up as well, suddenly I'm getting much more length through the whole of the front line of the right-hand side of my body. If you can keep the hands on your blocks or on the floor. If you're bendy, you can do this from the floor. It won't be as obvious, but you can still find that feeling of the chest coming forwards and up. Couple of breaths here, then step back once again into your downward facing dog. An extra breath here. Then bring your feet in towards your hands. Soft knees. Inhale, halfway up. Now, you can do the usual of having hands on shins or on thighs, but I encourage you, because we're working on opening across the front here, most of us, and I'm definitely including myself in this, we are locked tight and weak, tight and stiff across the front, and long and weak across the back. So for me, I find it really hard to naturally be in a kind of neutral position here. So I need to build muscle on the back body, and I think most of us do. So when you come halfway up, and we've done this before, I invite you instead to pull the elbows up by your sides. You're not going into kind of an exaggerated Sphinx like we were doing a minute ago, but rather you're pulling the elbows back and just feeling that activation between the shoulder blades. And exhale, fold down. Inhale, push all the way up, reach to your fingertips. And exhale, pull the arms down by your sides. A couple of half sunnies. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, and just let the head drop down a little. Then bend your right knee and straighten the left leg. Turn your torso as if you were trying to bring your right shoulder to your right knee. Roll the left shoulder back. And then exhale, just fold forwards. And then turn the other way. Straighten the right leg, bend the left knee. Turn your torso as if you were trying to get your left shoulder closer to the left knee. And then again, just dangle forwards. Release the hands. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, pull the arms down. Good. Again, inhale, take it up. Exhale, soft knees, fold all the way down. Add a little twist this time. Left hand to the floor, Bend the left knee, straighten the right leg. Take the right arm up. Let's add our forward folding twist. And then swap. Right hand down, right knee bends, left hand up. Twist open to the left. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Add a half lift. Inhale, halfway up. Squeeze between the shoulder blades. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, push down to lift up, all the way up. Exhale, pull your arms down. Now again, we're going to add some lunge sunnies now. As we're thinking of different ways to open through the front of the chest, if when you take your arms up, you are generally out to the side, nothing wrong with that. But how about doing something a little different this time? So instead of going out to the side, think of going forwards and then up. It's a subtle difference, but it means it just moves the shoulder blades and the scapula a little differently. So you're trying to reach as far forwards as you can. And you can get a sense of that if you just hold your arms out and reach forwards as much as you can, and then pull the shoulders back, and then reach forwards, and then pull them back. It's that forwardsness I want you to try and find. So with the inhale, think down, forwards, and then up. Okay, just give it a go. It may work, it may not. I will probably forget to remind you to do it. So if you can remember, good on you. One way or another, on your next inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, halfway up, lift in the upper back. Exhale, right foot back, right knee down. Inhale, think down, forwards, and then up. Exhale, hands down, left foot back. Bring knees down, chest down to your plank. Quick Sphinx pose to your elbows, feet down, elbows back, lift the chest forwards. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Take your right foot up, bend the right knee. Roll that right hip open. Let the right heel get heavy. Then gently step the right foot forwards, left knee down. Inhale, broad across the upper back as you lift to your low lunge. Exhale, hands down, step forwards. Inhale, halfway up, strong in the back body. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, push through feet, rise up. Exhale, pull the arms down. Good, simply same thing other side. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, halfway up, use your back muscles. Exhale, left foot down, left foot back, sorry, left knee down. Inhale, push down to rise up. Exhale, hands down, step back to your plank. Knees down, everything down with control. To your Sphinx. Pull the elbows back, long through the whole of the front body. Exhale, push back, down dog. In your down dog, take your left foot up. Bend the left knee, roll that left hip open. Step the left foot gently forwards, right knee down. Inhale, reach up, push down to lift. Exhale, hands down, step forwards. Inhale, halfway up, strong in the back. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, push down to rise up. Now, as you come up, maybe add a little bit of a feeling of a back bend. By that, I mean, just as you did with your Sphinx, little bit of engagement in the bum cheeks, make them smile. Little bit of a tuck of the tailbone. Activate the core, lift the arms up, and maybe just send the chest up and back, just a touch. And then exhale, bring the arms down. Nothing exaggerated, just starting to kind of encourage some of this stuff to be a little bit longer and softer through the front. Adding some stuff to our lunges now. Inhale, reach up, maybe add a little back bend. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, halfway up, use your back. Exhale, hands down, right foot back, right knee down. Inhale, reach up for your normal lunge. And then exhale, bring your arms down to kind of like cactus arms. So they're all goalpost arms, out like that. Keep grounding through both feet, remember. Inhale, pull those elbows back, like someone's giving you a really strong kind of like high 10. And then exhale, bring them together, squeeze the elbows together and let the chin draw in a little. Inhale, take them out and get broad. Exhale, bring them in, squeeze them together. Again, inhale, out and wide. Exhale, in and round. Two more. Inhale, up and wide. Exhale, in and round. Inhale, up and wide. Exhale, in and round. Good. Inhale, take both arms up. Exhale, hands down, left foot back. Come down with control to your belly. Little locust this time. Turn your palms face down behind you. Keep the hands on the floor for now. Lift the chest up, keep the chin tucked, and then lift the legs as well. But just let the hands stay on the floor for now. Feel the whole back line activating to lift you up away from the floor. And then exhale, gently come down. Push back, downward facing dog. Take the right foot up in the air. Bend the right knee. Roll that right foot, hip open. Again, let the right heel be heavy. Then as gently as you can, step the right foot forwards. Bring the left knee down. Inhale, push down through the feet. Lift the heart. Exhale, hands down, step forwards. Inhale, halfway up, use the back. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, reach down, forwards and up, maybe a little back bend at the top. Exhale, pull the arms down, same stuff, other side. Reach down, forwards and up, maybe a little bit of a back bend. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway up, use the length of the spine. Exhale, hands down, left foot back, left knee down. Ground through the feet. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale, goalpost arms again. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, squeeze the forearms together. Inhale, squeeze shoulder blades. Exhale, squeeze forearms. Good. 3 more like that. Inhale, wide and open. Exhale, soft and round. 2 more. Inhale, up and out. Exhale, round and in. 1 more. Inhale, up and out. Exhale, round and in. Good. Inhale, both arms up. She says falling over. Exhale, hands down, step back, high plank. Knees down, everything down with control. Locust again, turn the palms down. Inhale, lift the legs, lift the chest. This time, add the arms. Lift the arms. Squeeze the little fingers towards your legs. So lift the hands up and pull them into your midline. And then exhale, take it down, push back, downward facing dog. In your down dog, take your left foot up into the air, bend your left knee, roll the left hip open. Again, find that feeling of letting the left heel be heavy. Gently step the left foot forwards, bring the right knee down. Push down so that you can lift up. Inhale. Exhale, hands down, step the right foot forwards. Inhale, halfway up, activate the back stuff. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, push down to rise up. Exhale, pull the arms down by your sides. Good, again. Inhale, push down to rise up. Little back bend at the top if you've got it. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, halfway up, use the back. Exhale, hands down, right foot back, right knee down. Push down through the feet, ground so that you can lift with the inhale. Then bring the hands down behind the back of your head and interlace the fingers. Then with an inhale, spread the elbows wide. And again, find that lifting up and forwards of the sternum. And then exhale, pull the elbows in towards each other. Let the chin draw down to the chest. You're not pulling on the chest, but let the back of the head gently push up into the hands, just to activate the muscles through the back of the neck. Inhale, elbows wide, chest up. Exhale, draw it in and round. 3 more. Inhale, up and out. Exhale, in and round. 2 more. Inhale, up and out. Exhale, in and round. 1 more. Inhale, up and out. Exhale, in and round. Release the hands down. Take an extra inhale and reach up to your normal lunge. Exhale, hands down. Step the left foot back into your plank. Come all the way down to your cobra this time. Well, it's going to take a moment to build your cobra. So hands are, fingertips are kind of mid-chest height. You're going to lift the front of your shoulders up away from the floor. Then you're going to hug your elbows in. Then you pull back with your hands and lift the chest up as much as you can. And then exhale, roll down. So again, first step, hands, chest, mid-chest height. Lift the front of the shoulders up away from the floor. Pull the elbows in towards each other. Hands pull back on the mat. And with an inhale, remember those smiling bum cheeks lift you up. And then exhale, come down. Good. Oh, 1 more like that. Tops of the feet into the mat. Smiling bum cheeks. Front of shoulders lift away from the floor. Elbows squeeze in together. Hands pull back. And the effort of all of that lifts the chest up. Exhale, come down. Push back onto your knees. Oh, take a downward facing dog. It's tough doing it and talking, I'm not going to lie. Take the left foot up. Bend the left knee. No, left foot down. Take the right foot up. Roll that right hip open. Step the right foot forwards. Bring the left knee down. Inhale, simple low lunge. Take it up. Exhale, hands down, step forwards. Inhale, halfway up, squeeze between the shoulder blades. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, push down to rise up. Exhale, pull the arms down. Same stuff, other side. Inhale, think down, forwards, and up into maybe a little back bend. Exhale, soft knees, come down. Inhale, halfway up, use your back body. Exhale, hands down, left foot back, left knee down. Here we go again. Inhale, take it up, push down through the feet. Then interlace the fingers again around the back of the neck. Remember, you are grounding through the feet to give you something to push against. Inhale, take the elbows wide, gaze can go up, as can the chest. And then exhale, round the upper back, squeeze the elbows together. Gently push the back of the head into the hands. Inhale, up and out. Exhale, round and in. Inhale, up and out. Exhale, round and in. 2 more. Inhale, up and out. Exhale, round and in. Inhale, up and out. Exhale, round and in. Good, come back to neutral, let the hands come down. Take an extra inhale and reach up. Hands down, step the right foot back, come down onto your belly. 3 more little cobras, building it up. Top of the feet to the floor, fingertips mid-chest. Lift the front of the shoulders, squeeze the elbows together, pull back with the hands to lift up. Exhale, roll down. 2 more like that. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, down. 1 more. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, take it down, push back to your knees, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Left foot, take it up. Roll the left hip open. Step the left foot gently forwards, bring the right knee down. Push down to inhale and reach up. Exhale, hands down, step the right foot forwards. Inhale, halfway up, squeeze the shoulders together. Soft knees, exhale, fold down. Inhale, push down to come all the way up. Exhale, pull the arms down by your sides. Good. Take your belt if you've got one. If you haven't, again, don't worry about it. You can hold on to your top for some of the stuff that we're going to do. So I want you to come into a wide-legged standing pose. So feet are about sort of wrist, elbow distance apart. So not like you're about to do yourself a mischief. Just so it feels like, you know, it's a bit of a challenge there. And then you're going to start, again, if you haven't got a belt, you can kind of do this imagining that you've got a belt. But hold the strap. If you've got buckles on one end, make sure you're holding any pointy bits in one of your hands so that they don't flail around and smack you. Very simply, all you're going to do, I think that my wall might be in my way. All you're going to do, slippery carpet, is go inhale, arms up, and exhale, hands behind you, keeping a gentle tension on the belt. Inhale, take them up, and exhale, bring it down. I must admit, this is when it's really handy to be able to see what you're doing, because what I want you to notice is if you are a bit too tight on your band, when you get up, your shoulders can do just subtle little funky things to get your arms around. So if I was there, I can see that if I try and do it there, my left arm is gonna try and go back before the right arm does. So if you've got a mirror, have the band as wide as you can so that it's a bit challenging, but so that both shoulders can act through the same range of motion. Sorry, very distracting watching yourself do it whilst trying to speak. So inhale takes it up. Exhale takes it down. And just do that a few times. Notice if there are areas through the movement where your body wants to try and rush to get it over and done with. If you're feeling that, maybe take the band a little bit wider, take the hands a little bit wider on the band. Just do that a few times. Like I say, if you haven't got a belt to do this with, you might have to use your imagination and try and do it with a pretend one, or just do circles with your arms. Good. One more up. And one more down. Smooth big circles, keeping that tension on the band as you go. Nice. Take your band or strap, whatever you've got, and drape it over your right shoulder. Inhale, take your right arm up, turn the palm behind you and bend the elbow. No, sorry, turn your palm towards you, bend the elbow and bring your left hand onto your right elbow. So if you see from the back, my palm is against my upper back and my left hand is resting on top of my elbow. Now I'm going to try and keep my ribs cinched in a little bit. So it's very tempting to stick your chest out and go all kind of pigeonish. We don't want that. Just cinch the front ribs in so you can keep a little tuck of your tailbone. I'm going to try and lift my chin and just encourage a stretch through this right shoulder. Now, you can stay here if that's quite enough for you, or take your left hand out to the side, turn the palm away from you, then bring the back of your left hand to your lower back. Your right hand can now hold the strap, your left hand can hold the strap, and you can walk your hands up the strap a little bit closer towards each other. If you don't need the strap, you could even hold hands with yourself. If holding hands with yourself makes you feel like you're going to rip your own skin off your fingers, don't do that. Here, you can also do this just by holding your top with each hand. Now, holding whatever you've got, take an inhale, and then exhale, add a little forward fold into it just for fun. Try and keep that chin lifted as you go down. When you get to the bottom, pause for a moment. Soft knees, inhale, push through the feet, come all the way up. Exhale, release, give the shoulders a little roll. We'd better do the other side. Take your strap, drape it jauntily over your left shoulder. Again, this could be a towel, this could be a tea towel, dog lead, normal belt, or hang on to your own clothes, whatever you've got. Take the left arm up, turn the palm, and then sneak your left hand, again, just down to sort of the base of your neck. Palm is against your back, and you let the right hand just ease that, put a bit of weight on the left elbow. Again, I'm going to try and keep my ribs just cinched in a little bit at the front so that I just contain where the stretch is happening. And I'm going to try and lift my chin so that the back of my head pushing into this arm actually encourages a little more stretch. So stay here if that's enough for you, or take your right arm out, turn the thumb down, bring the back of your right hand to your lower back. Hands can find the strap and they can start walking up or down the strap towards each other. Maybe again, you hold hands with yourself. Again, if that just feels like you're going to rip your own skin off your fingers, don't do it. Or you hold your top. And just to make it a little more fun, inhale, lift the heart, and then exhale, add a little forward fold. Pause here and think happy thoughts. And then when you're ready, inhale, push down, come all the way up. And exhale, release. Give it a little shimmy. Now, it's quite normal, everything's normal in yoga, to find one side of doing that way more challenging than the other side. So if that happened for you, don't worry about it. Totally normal. Stay in this wide-legged stance for a moment. Bring your hands on your hips and inhale, lift the heart. Soft knees, exhale, fold. Bring the hands down to the floor or to your blocks if you can't comfortably reach the floor. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, fold down, but take your hands out and away from you. So it's like your upper body is doing downward facing dog, but your legs are in a wide-legged forward fold. So don't let the hips come forwards. I'm going to try and do it this way so you can see what I'm doing. So my hips are staying over my ankles and my hands are hopefully going out in front of me. So only the top half of me is doing a downward facing dog. The bottom half of me is still in that wide-legged forward fold. And just see if you can allow the chest to soften down towards the floor. So again, like we did in puppy dog pose, make sure you're not just taking it all in the front of the shoulders, that it's actually the whole chest you're trying to soften and open, not just the weakest point in your weakest link in your chain. Good. And then walk the hands back into kind of normal wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up and lengthen. Exhale, hands on your hips. Inhale, push down to come all the way up. Exhale, pause. And then wiggle, step, jump your feet back together. Give the legs a little shimmy if they are having a word, shall we say. Give the shoulders a little roll if any of that was a bit traumatic for the shoulders. Come back, stand on the front, stand at the front of your mat. Ground through the feet, activate the legs, little smile in the bum cheeks. When you're ready, inhale, reach down, forwards and up. Little back bend there if you've got it. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen. Exhale, hands down, both feet back, knees down, chest down with control. Inhale, little cobra, lift it up. Exhale, come down, push back, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Again, when you're working on heart opening poses, normally downward facing dog, we're fairly strong and rigid through the hands, but if it feels like a nice thing to do here in your down dog, you can also just allow the chest to soften a little more towards the mat than perhaps you would do in a normal downward facing dog. Then when you're ready, bring your knees down, take your bum back to your heels, pause there for a moment in your child's pose, but not for too long. And then come up onto your knees. So knees are about hip width apart. Excuse me. Tuck your toes under so that the heels are kind of up in the air. So you haven't got the tops of the feet on the floor. You're up on your toes. So we're going to kind of just do a little bit of half a camel. It's not a very pleasant image. So same setup as we were doing for our cobra. Now, even though your feet aren't flat, still want you to have a little bit of connection down through the feet. Put a little smile in your bum cheeks and let the tailbone tuck under a little. Now we're up in the air. I want you to feel like you're containing your front ribs again, just as we did when we were doing that arm stuff. So you're not just letting all the bendiness come up into the ribs. Just a little bit of containment in the front. Bring your left hand onto your sternum, onto your breastbone, and really feel like you are lifting your sternum up into it. Core is switched on to keep this stuff contained, but the chest is lifting up into the sternum. You can imagine, I quite like to imagine, I've got a little hamster wheel in my chest, and the hamster's running in its wheel. It's lifting my chest up into that left hand. Inhale, take your right arm and reach it up. Keep the bum cheeks switched on. Then bring your right hand down to your right heel. Turn the chest as much as you can. Keep pushing the sternum up into that left hand. Then when you're ready, inhale, reach all the way back up. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Good. Same thing other side. Bum cheeks on, core on, little tuck of the tailbone. Right hand on your sternum. Lift your sternum up into your hand. Think of your little hamsters running in the wheel to lift the chest up. Then I get more lift. Inhale, taking the left arm up. And then exhale, let that left arm sweep back behind you and find your left heel. Now, if you can, take some of the twist out of the chest by turning the chest towards the ceiling and reach the right arm up. Good, and then bring yourself all the way back up and let the right arm come down. Nice. So you can either keep doing half a camel on each side, or we'll do a kind of full camel. So bring your hands into prayer in front of your breastbone. Same principle. Feet active, bum cheeks smiling, little tuck of the tailbone, core switched on, lift the sternum up into your thumbs. Let those hamsters run. And then maybe let the head drop back as much as you feel comfortable with. Pause there for a breath. And then without giving yourself whiplash, just come back up. That's kind of where you can stay and work if you feel. Or you want to take it a little deeper. Lift the chest up into the thumbs. Keep your bum cheeks switched on. Keep lifting the chest and lifting it and lifting it. Let the head go back. And then maybe take the right hand back. Find your right foot. Maybe take the left hand back. Find the left heel. Now lift the chest. Activate the bum cheeks. Send the gaze up. And then release the hands. Without giving whiplash, bring yourself back up. Release the feet. Take your bum back onto your heels. Kneel there if you can, or prop yourself up on a block. Close your eyes and just notice. Notice how it feels to be still, opening heart, opening this energy center. You can get stuff moving around. So just enjoy that moment of stillness. Good, then come to sit. And then come to lie. Once you're down on your back, hug the knees up into the chest. And once again, just like we did at the beginning, have a little roll from side to side. Give your back just a little bit of a massage. Keep the right knee hugged in and just straighten the left leg out and away from you. Push out through the heel for a couple of breaths. Then push out through the ball of the foot for a couple of breaths. Alternate. And swap legs, bring the left leg up and in, hug it in. Straighten the right leg out, push out through the right heel for a couple of breaths. Push out through the ball of the right foot for a couple of breaths. And then just alternate, see what feels good in that right leg. Then bring the right knee up. And again, hug them in and have a little roll on the lower back. And then here is your opportunity to tune in once again to whatever your body needs now before it settles into Shavasana, into our final relaxation. Maybe it would like, we didn't do much or hardly any twisting in this practice. So maybe it feels like it would like a little twist to each side. Maybe a little bit of happy baby to release any tension in the lower back. Tune in, notice what you need, allow the body to have it, and then settle into your favorite Shavasana shape. In this practice, you've probably done quite enough heart opening to not now use the props like we did at the beginning. In other practices, if you want to have kind of a more, or at least start off in a more active Shavasana, which is kind of a contradiction in terms, but you can, you know, use those props at the end of a practice before you do the proper Shavasana to again do a little bit of gentle heart opening at the end of a practice. But for now, I think you're probably good to just do a proper Shavasana, no props, no effort, no nothing. So get into your favorite shape. And then let your eyes gently fall closed. And once again, take a big breath in through the nose. And sigh. And again, big breath in through the nose. Big sigh out. And one more time, big breath in through the nose. Big sigh out. And then just let your breath settle once again into its own natural rhythm. On your next exhale, allow your arms and your legs to grow heavy. On your next exhale, allow your hips and your pelvis to sink a little deeper into the mat. On your next exhale, allow your whole body to sink deeper into the earth. But at the same time, feel the earth rising up beneath you, supporting you fully so you can completely let go. For the next few minutes, allow yourself to rest here in silence. And I will tell you when it's time to move on. But for now, just be here, be still, and breathe. Stay exactly as you are. Notice where your mind may have wandered to and bring it back. Bring it back and just notice once again how you feel. Notice what you are feeling, and if there is good stuff there, allow it to be fully felt. Allow it to radiate up to the top of your head, down to the tips of your toes, out to your fingertips. When you're ready, take a couple of deeper breaths and begin to bring some movement into the body by wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, rotating wrists, rotating ankles. Gently making your way onto your side and then pushing yourself up to sit. With one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, remember the intention you set back at the beginning of class. Remember how you wanted to feel and breathe life back into that intention. With a big inhale, let it go with the exhale. Just for a moment, allow your awareness to go to the palm that is over your heart space. Notice if there is a little more warmth there, a little more energy there, a little more softness and connection there. Notice that with gratitude, with love and with kindness for yourself and for all that the practice can do for us. Namaste.